Good day, my director, Professor Mogaji, and my wonderful colleagues. My name is Adeola Ademefun, a Ph.D. student of Center for Sustainable Development, University of Abuja. And this is my assignment on research proposal. And the topic is examining challenges of smallholder women farmers in engendering food security and sustainable agriculture in Nigeria, which will be looking at the SDG 2, zero hunger, and SDG 5, gender equality. The background to the study. Agriculture in Nigeria remains the primary source of livelihood, and for over 70% of rural households, smallholder farmers, many of whom are women, they play a very important role in food production, in food processing, and marketing. Women are responsible for about 60 to 80% of food production in Nigeria. And according to the United Nations, there are around about 690 million people who are hungry, which account for slightly less than 10% of world population. And more than these 600 million people are projected to face hunger even by 2030. And Goal 2 seeks to create a world free of hunger by 2030. And the women farmers undoubtedly remain the key actors in food production, in food processing, and in food marketing in sub-Saharan Africa. And they are a force to be reckoned to end hunger. And but they have been excluded in decision making, in policy direction that can actually bring an end to the goal 2 and the goal 5. The statement of this research problem uh, will be smallholder women farmers in Nigeria struggle to produce enough food to feed their families and meet their basic needs. Women represent 70% of Nigeria estimated 38 million spread across the 36 states of Nigeria, including Federal Capital Territory. Smallholder women farmers they face numerous challenges across the agricultural value chain. They often lack access to land due to some sociocultural and legal barriers that often restrict women ownership to land, to access to facilities, to access to credit loans, and a lot of them. And so, furthermore, they are also um, limited from accessing soil-friendly pesticides, fertilizers, herbicides, and equipment and tools that can help improve their production. The research question are: what are the key challenges that small older women farmers face, and how does this affect their contribution to food security and sustainable agriculture in Nigeria? Secondly, is what impact does sociocultural and economic factors have on small older women farmers' capacity to increase their production, to increase their farm yield um, generally? The third one is how have these efforts by state and non-state actors to support women, smallholder women farmers yielded results in achieving food security and sustainability? And lastly is what recommendation could be provided in addressing the challenges and contributing to the actualization of the SDG in 2030. The research objectives. The overall objective of this study is to examine challenges of smallholder women farmers in engendering food security and sustainable agriculture in Nigeria, um, looking at the SDG 2, zero hunger, and SDG 5, gender equality. And in specific, the study seeks to achieve the following objective. Number one, to examine the key challenges and barriers smallholder women farmers face in accessing farm inputs and services. Number two, to assess the impact of sociocultural and economic factors on smallholder women farmers' capacity to increase their farm yields or produce. Number three, to evaluate the effectiveness of government intervention to support smallholder women farmers in achieving food security and sustainability. And number four, to provide recommendations towards addressing identified challenges in engendering sustainable agriculture and food security efforts in rural Nigeria. Research assumptions. Number one is the smallholder women farmers face challenges that inhibit their capacity to actually contribute towards the food security and the sustainable agriculture in Nigeria. Sociocultural and economic factors have exacerbated challenges that these women farmers face and had an impact. It has had an impact on food security and sustainable agriculture. Number three, there have been efforts by state and non-state actors to actually support small older women farmers in achieving the food security and sustainability. Number four, there are effectual recommendations to address these challenges towards achieving the SDGs. The significance of this study is that it will contribute significantly to the body of knowledge to extant literatures of sustainable agriculture and the role of smallholder women farmers in engendering food secured nation. It will also be another repository to inform policy decisions in operationalizing agricultural frameworks in tandem with the Maputo Declaration and other international, national, regional treaties which Nigeria is signatory to. The literature review and the theoretical framework. This study will conduct detailed review of existing literatures to examine all the challenges that smallholder women farmers face in contributing to the sustainable agriculture and food secured nation in Nigeria. This research will adopt the systems theory and structural functionalist theories as the theoretical framework for analysis. The research methodology, a mixed method approach will be used to collect qualitative and quantitative data. And this study will target about 300 smallholder women farmers across the 6 geopolitical zones in Nigeria, using questionnaires to gather quantitative data, having focus group discussions, and key informant interviews for the qualitative data. Sample size and sampling techniques. About 300 smallholder women farmers representing the 6 geopolitical zones in Nigeria and about 50 women farmers per geopolitical zones will be selected through simple random and purposive sampling. And the RAUSOFT software or the Taro Yamani method will be adopted in calculating the sample size at 0.05% margin of error. The method of data analysis. Data collected will be analyzed quantitatively and qualitatively. The quantitative analysis will involve descriptive analysis using simple percentages, mean variations, and the correlation analysis to identify patterns and draw inferences. The qualitative data from interviews and focus groups will also be analyzed through thematic analysis to identify themes and patterns. Uh, and the expected outcome will be to contribute to the body of knowledge and extant literatures on food security and the SDGs. So also be preferring practicable solutions to identify challenges that smallholder women farmers face in contributing to the SDG 2 and 5. And to also be unraveling gender dimensions in alignment with the SDG 5 and engendering policy recommendations to increase farm yield, impact on food security in Nigeria, and increase adoption of sustainable practices, and it also profile recommendations or policy decisions and directions. And these are the selected references for this presentation. And I want to say thank you for listening, and God bless.